It's March 5th, and as we always do, we want to take a peek at the monthly. Monthly is still pretty much unchanged, right? Still kind of moving to the upside. Upside reference that we're watching is the 51.23 quarter, which we've actually slipped below, and the 51.0375. Switching over to the weekly, very similar look. We have this +4. We talked about this remaining below that +4 level, which was the 51.46, can possibly cause liquidation, and that would move the market down to the 51.03, the 51.02, like we talked about, and then ultimately that low 50.66, the previous all-time high. So we got the 51.23 level, which we've already broken. The next level down is basically 51.03. On the daily, you can see we're still one time framing up. We moved above the previous day's range and then kind of settled back in. So really kind of a balanced to higher kind of look. When we look at the profiles, we'll get a better estimation, I guess, but still looking for this low, which is 51.01 quarter, right? That would give us a cessation of one time framing. If there is going to be some change that presents itself, it's going to present itself on the daily first. I still like to look for the weekly for that real confirmation, but you're gonna see it first on the daily, obviously, because it's a slower, or it's a faster time chart. Now switching over here to the profiles, let me get rid of these drawings. What is that? 20? Okay. So if we look at this move higher, we've got our line in the sand, which is the 40.46. It's also the I have it as LIS, but it's the weekly +4. Okay, let's just change the color on there to green. Okay, and then yesterday settled 51.38. And so with this day, right, there's not really many distributions. And we kind of talked about this yesterday. The separation of these two distributions and then another separation kind of that early and then the monthly +4. So we had some short time frame sellers still get stuck down here. And so that could be really the target is that 51.03. The move kind of already started overnight, to be honest. But here's how I want you guys to kind of think about this. And I got short. I closed already, but I got short at like 31 last night, and I'll explain to you why. Because we know where weekly +4 is momentum, right? We closed on the high. This is the weekly close. So we've got to assume that we've got to at least find acceptance in this upper distribution, right? And really we were looking above that 51.04 because this was a +4 day, right? But because it wasn't able to, showed us a little bit of weakness, especially because it got higher and then couldn't do it. So it showed a little bit of weakness. And so we're kind of assuming, right, most of this is just short covering besides this pullback low, which is that 18 level, which is kind of breached now. And now we're below the balance high of 51.23. That was why that was a key level. So, which is where I closed my trade at 23. Should have held it, obviously, but. And so acceptance below this 23 really can start to bring the market down towards the monthly +4. And you can see really that's where the double distribution is at. And so you're kind of developing this balance here, right? Market moves up, does a little distribution, and is now kind of re-entering that balance. So first stop, I guess, basically is like that 51.11. That last set of single prints, right? Possible, maybe a possible bounce from there. Oops, it's just a line. It's the weirdest tool in the whole world. So possible bounce from here. Um, if they don't find buyers, and then you'll have to look for acceptance at that balance high. But in reality, a break of that should take to the monthly 4, and then you just start targeting all of these high levels, right? We have a previous pullback low, 88. Is it going to act, you know, kind of in agreement with that? We'll kind of see. Um, but I like to go for the volume ledges, and you can smash the profiles together and find some more mechanical references if you want. But that's basically the look, that look below there. Um, and really, for me, I'd like to see it back above that 51.23, and above that 51.23 there's um, some possibility of some upside, but you've got to be thinking about today, and today, because we're going to be opening up on such a large gap, it's going to be tough to get long really until it gets back above the settle, because you can kind of assume inside here that you probably get some chop. So there's probably some opportunity for both trading directions inside there. I guess this one would more be blue. This cautionary long right here is more of a blue look. But that's kind of the key today. You really kind of got to zoom out, um, and think about what's happening in the market right now, so you don't get too short-sighted. Because if we bounce off any of these levels over here, the market could go, straight back to the all-time highs. Especially, I'm kind of assuming there'd be a decent reaction off the previous monthly high, like a dip below, but acceptance back above that previous +4 probably does rotate at least back to these 51.30s. So that'll be something that we'll have to pay attention to and kind of wait for. And remember, we have Powell coming tomorrow, testifying tomorrow and Thursday. Only real news today is ISM Services PMI, and that's at 10, so half hour after the market opens. Gap rule is definitely going to be in play today, right? We're opening up on a fairly large gap, about 15 points. You know what they say, if you are a newer trader, any gaps larger than 10 points, you probably are better off at least waiting until a period's over or not trading at all. Morning one. And you have kind of some balance reversion rules too, because we're below that 23. So if the market confirms below that 23, really, when we're looking at the balance, and the volume should line up pretty close, but you're looking at, yeah, like that, just below 5100 level is this value area high for the balance. And then you've got more time down here, but more volume up here, it looks like. I mean, it's really close. But yeah, other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you're managing risks and sticking to your trade plan, and I will see you guys tomorrow.